What's up, everybody? It's Derek Anderson, the DA here, talking about the box office. I actually like the box office and looking at what happened over the weekend. And the reason is it's kind of like the closest thing you have to a scoreboard for films. I'm a sports fan, I'm also a movie fan, and you kind of want to know who won, who lost, who were the winners every weekend when there's big movies dropping, how they're doing, if they are meeting what they're trying to do, which is basically make money, or if they're falling flat on their face. And that's what the box office is all about. But the box office also gives us a little bit more information because it kind of tells you what's hot. What are people like going out to the theater to check out? Not only that, the movie executives are kind of saying, all right, are we gonna green light the sequel to this movie? Some other studios may be looking at like a movie like that just came out, Uncharted, and they say, maybe we should start dusting off our old scripts where there's an adventure, because this was in the vein of an Indiana Jones National Treasure kind of movie. So they might say, hey, maybe this is the opportunity for us to kind of jump in while the iron is hot and start making some moves in that direction. So, is everybody hankering for an adventure film? Well, based on the results of this box office weekend, it looks like they might be. So before I continue, you see that little red subscribe button right there. Go ahead and click that if you haven't subscribed already. Clicking that button is a good way to get all of the videos that I'm going to produce. Movies with the homies, you'll get all of my reviews, and then of course if I have any random rants, they'll jump right up to your notifications. So go ahead and click that subscribe button, and yeah, let's start talking about the box office this weekend. So it says here, Spidey star Tom Holland does double duty as Uncharted takes the top spot with 51 million over President's Day weekend. Now this is an estimate because obviously I'm shooting this on Saturday, and the box office isn't complete yet. We still got Sunday, we still got Monday, but box office totals are usually pretty on point. They project to 51 million. They're probably going to get close to that. They may even go a little bit above that. But it says here, it's official. The winter belongs to Tom Holland. The rest of us are just living in it. A mere 10 weeks after the blockbuster launch of Spider-Man No Way Home, the 25-year-old British actor, or should we now say star, returned to the top of the box office with his second out-of-the-gate smash of the season, the Indiana Jones-esque video adaptation Uncharted, which debuted over President's Day weekend, to a projected 51 million after Monday is factored in. I do like the fact that this was a perfect weekend for a movie like this. And something that we've discussed, you saw me and T discuss this on previous episodes of Movies with the Homies. I don't know why so many studios, I don't know why so many studios abandoned ship during this time. There's literally nothing out, and there was a lot of money to be made. Uncharted didn't budge. It stayed right where it was. It stayed the course, no pun intended, and it got right where they wanted to get to, which is a phenomenal open weekend over the 4-day period. So smart move. They stayed the course. They made sure that they got their money, and now it looks like that this movie is probably going to be successful in achieving more than break even results. It's probably going to end up making a lot of money. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. Let's keep reading. Meanwhile, just a notch below in second place, Channing Tatum's feel-good Man and His Best Friend movie Dog sunk its canines into an $18 million opening holiday frame, while the less cuddly four-legged flick The Cursed managed to nose its way into the top 10 with 1.5 million bow. I think with Tom Holland, this is a great result for him personally, simply because Tom is going to start moving into what I would consider a superstar class, because he's done very well with the MCU, and this shows that he actually does have some star power. I know this is Uncharted. Uncharted is a very popular video game, and a lot of people have played it, so he did have a decent enough IP to bring it in, but I don't think anybody thought that it was going to do what it's doing right here. So I mean, this is pretty impressive, and to be honest with you, he's looking like he's going to start taking over that kind of young superstar under the age of 25 role. Me and T were talking about that as well in the last episode, where we kind of briefly touched on the box office for Uncharted. T kind of related him to who was it? Kurt Russell, a young Kurt Russell. I think I kind of see him more like a young Tom Cruise type actor. Somebody that people will definitely go out and see him in whatever he's in. He's very charismatic. He seems like he can do action. He can do comedy. He can do, a superhero flick, an adventure like Uncharted. So I think you can put him in different things. He definitely can do some drama. You can put him in different types of roles. You know what? He also, he's more like a younger Matt Damon, or Matt Damon when he first started coming into his own. Back in the late '90s, he was doing movies like Saving Private Ryan, Rainmaker, Good Will Hunting. That's the kind of actor that I see Tom Holland at right now, kind of like a young Matt Damon. But the second part of this will be me discussing where people are with the box office. So every studio has their own little formula on how much money a movie needs to make that they produce in order for them to break even and start making some money. And it's kind of a complicated formula. There's a lot of different factors that come into play. The way I like to do it is a very simplified formula that most people have accepted over the years. It's double the budget plus half of the budget. For marketing. So for instance, I'll go right to this so you can see what I'm referring to. So this is basically the top 5 movies in the box office this past weekend. You got Uncharted, Dog, Spider-Man, No Way Home, Death in the Nile, and Jackass Forever. Those are the top 5 in the box office from this previous weekend. So what you would do is you would take half the budget. For instance, Uncharted, 120 million, double the budget. So Uncharted, 120 million, double that, that's 240 million, and then you take half of that, which is what they would use to market the film. Half of 120 million is 60. You take 240 plus 60, that gives you 300. That's about what Uncharted needs to break even. Now I have a different rule because I know that the way that they market films, for a film like, let's say, Dog is at 15 million. That's what its budget. Now you really wouldn't take half of the budget to market a film like Dog, because even though it's only $15 million, you still got to put some money into spreading the word, getting on social media, getting commercials made, pushing those commercials out, buying ad time, all of that stuff. And that's still going to cost not just half of whatever the budget is. So my rule is kind of like, if it's under $50 million, if it's a film over $50 million, you take half of the budget. But if it's under $50 million, then we're just going to go with half of 50 million, which is about 25 million. So I add that to that. So if you took Dog, double that, 15 million, that becomes 30 million. You add my formula, which is half of a $50 million film, which is what they would try to use as their budget for marketing, and that gives you $55 million, and so on and so forth. So you can kind of see right now where everybody is at. Spider-Man No Way Home is sitting at $1.8 billion. It's long since made its money. It's in great shape, and there's no way they're going to lose anything at this point. And it also looks like Jackass Forever has passed up its break-even mark at $45 million. It's sitting at $61 million right now. So pretty much from here on out, everything is just, profit, and they're doing great as well. But when you get to Uncharted, this is the reason that I wanted to look at this. Right now, Uncharted worldwide, and these are all worldwide numbers, by the way, for the current amount. Worldwide is sitting at $139 million. It had 51 million in the domestic. The remainder of that is in the worldwide total. So 139 million. And right now it's coming into another week. There's absolutely nothing playing this coming weekend. There's a couple of small limited releases. I think Cyrano de Bergerac with Peter Dinklage is coming out. But there's not going to be a lot of people flocking to that movie. There's a lot of folks that are already buzzing about this film. They're saying, hey, this is a great movie. I'm going to go check it out again. So you're probably going to see them, this number, do significantly better. Not better than this, but obviously it's going to do better than most second weekends would do. Normally a good drop in the second weekend is about 50%. I'm expecting that this movie is probably going to do somewhere near that amount. So if it gets a half of this, of 139 million, let's just call that $70 million. Okay, if you add that 70 million for just the weekend to this total, you're already sitting at 200. That's not including anything it made throughout the week, and then whatever it's going to make in the following week leading up to Batman. So I think Uncharted is in really good shape. It's probably going to make its money back, and it's probably going to get that sequel, because a lot was riding on this film. In order to get a sequel, it was going to have to do well in the box office. Now the question becomes, what do you do with Tom Holland? He's a 25-year-old. Most people wanted to see a 30-year-old or 35-year-old Nathan Drake, some guy that's kind of deep into his 30s. Tom Holland has talked about he doesn't want to be like kind of pigeonholed into certain roles. I know that he's already said that if I'm still doing Spider-Man by the time I'm 30, I did something wrong in my career. I think Tom Holland's going to try to slide close to getting out of that Spider-Man role and jump into other film roles. I don't know what those might be, but I think the guy has a lot of talent and he can play anything. But in any case, this is a good box office result for that film, along with I think Dog is probably going to get close to making its budget. The one that's in trouble is Death on the Nile. As you can see, based on my math, it needs $225 million just to break even. Right now it's sitting at 75 million. I don't think it's going to make it. I don't think it's going to make it. They're going to have to try to get some of that back in video sales in order to break even. So, but that's it. That's for the box office for this week. Did you see any movies this weekend? What did you think about them? You can drop some comments down below discussing just basically in general the films that came out this weekend and what you're looking forward to for the next box office. All right, that'll be it. I'll see you guys next time.